Um, right. So good evening. I welcome you all to our Saturday evening talk. Today we are here with a very relevant topic for the training professionals. And the topic is data-driven decision making for training need analysis. To speak on this topic, we have with us Dr. Reshmi Maan. She's Associate Professor in NTPC Business School in Noida. And we also have a second speaker who's, Mr. Ankit Singh from the same business school. And both are, are esteemed members of ISTD. देखिए हमारा हमेशा यही एंडेवर रहा है कि हमारे दिल्ली चैप्टर में ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा हम मेंबर्स को इन्वॉल्व करें, डिप्लोमा स्टूडेंट्स को इन्वॉल्व करें चैप्टर की एक्टिविटीज़ में. So this was really the thought behind these series, the Saturday evening talks, and where we are involving our members. Yeah. So today, the speakers, they will be sharing their thoughts on competency-based training need analysis. How do we develop a dashboard for TNA? And, what are the different strategies we can use while, doing our training need analysis? So I'm sure it's going to be a very good learning experience for all of us. Before I call, request the speaker to start, I would request Mr. Mukesh Jain, our chapter chairperson, to welcome our guests. Mr. Jain.
Thank you, Pratima ji. A very good evening, friends. On behalf of Management Committee of ISTD Delhi Chapter, I take the pleasure in welcoming our esteemed speakers, Dr. Reshmi Manna and Mr. Ankit Singh, who will share their thoughts on a very important topic, a data-driven decision-making for training need analysis. I also welcome our veterans, President Emeritus, past presidents, chapter chairpersons, NC member, all my seniors and colleagues from ISTD, diploma students, students of other institutes and friends. Wishing you all a great session. Please stay happy, healthy and safe. Thank you very much and namaskar. Over to Pratima ji.
Thank you, Mr. Jain. I now request Sucharita ma'am to introduce the speakers.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Pritima ma'am. And I would like to introduce the first speaker, Reshmi Manna, Associate Professor in NTPC School of Business, obtained her SRF Fellow Post of Doctorate, IIT Delhi, MSc and PhD Developmental Psychology from Calcutta University, MBA HR and PGDM in Public Relations from Annamalai University. She has 20 years of experience in the domain of behavioral science and people analytics. She has worked with esteemed organizations like India Trade Promoting Organization, ITPO, IBM, IGNO, Gargi College, DU, and ICFA University. She is certified in Management and Leadership Level 5 from the Chartered Management Institute, CMI, UK, Black Belt on Service Quality from Indian Statistics Institute, New Delhi. The second speaker, Ankit Singh, Research Associate in NTPC School of Business, obtained his Six Sigma Green Belt from Indian Statistical Institute, New Delhi, MBA HR from ICFA Business School, Gurgaon. He has 5 years of experience in the domain of human resource with esteemed organizations like Aditya Birla Group, HR Knowledge Lab, Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad. Over to Pritima ma'am.
Yeah, so Dr. Reshmi, welcome once again, and it's all yours now.
I would like to start thanking the ICT for giving this wonderful opportunity.
Dr. Reshmi, your voice is not okay. It's cracking.
So I Okay. So thank you so much, ISTD, for this wonderful thought that you should be giving opportunity to diploma student and to all the members. And I'm really grateful that I'm able to interact. I can see there are 73 participants now. So it's so great to interact with you all. It is the presentation that I'm going to do today is not, I am only going to speak because I'm also a learner. So while I'm presenting this, I'm going to interact with you all and I'm going to expect some answer from you. And then I will go ahead. So it will be a kind of flip class where I'm the student and you all are my teachers who are going to teach me for this session. So I have selected a case study because we need to have a situation to understand, to get into decision making, since we always talk about decision. So I have selected a case study. It's not a study because I have taken a bits and bits. So it's just a caselet. And that is the reason that we have disclaimer. And what are the objective of the session? We have clearly defined only 3 objectives. First is competency-based training need analysis. We will be doing TNA on the basis of the competency which is required individual as well as for organization. Both way we will be doing in a matrix form, and then how dashboard is used to map the employees who are in the training needs zone and what are the decision making we need to do. So in terms of analytics, we can say there are 3 types of analytics: descriptive, prescriptive, and predictive. So today's session will focus on prescriptive, means we will prescribe who are required to go under training after doing the TNA analysis. So this is just a brief about this company on which we are doing the case study, Energy for All Private Limited. And there is a person, Chief People Officer, Durga. She joined this company new. This is her second day when the board meeting was called. And there the CEO requested her to conduct a training need analysis for the organization. And whatever may be the result, they need to take action stage wise, who are to be sent for the training and how they can motivate other employees also. So she is being asked to do whatever required, and she has taken time for a week to study the company policy, to study the data and what is going on. And she decided to do it a competency-based TNA. Now, how to do the TNA within the week? Anybody from the audience or from the participants can help Durga, like what we can do, the best thing within a week. It's a very short time. What best thing we can do for competency-based TNA? Anybody from the participants?
Ma'am, first we will see that what need to be done and what are the skills required for it. Then only we can proceed that how to proceed further.
Wow. Sir, do you think that only skill enhancement is good enough for TNA?
No, ma'am. It is overall competence like knowledge, skill, and attitude, and it may need further inferences which may not be fulfilled by training, but HR interventions may help in the long run. But the findings may emerge all across.
Wow, thank you so much, sir. So from sir, I came to know. Yes, sir.
I propose that Ms. Vasu should be speaking to the management as what are going to be the growth areas which the company is going to focus. Depending on their growth areas and the challenges they are expected to face. At least, let us say it's an insurance company. I take my own company's example. The insurance company wants that this year there should be more of recruitment. So the training need will be more on the basics of the insurance. That's the basics part. So a lot number of people will be coming on board at different times of the entire year. So the organization would like to, let us say, complete the recruitment process within next 3 months. So the first 3 months need to be focused on the basics of the basic concepts. So in this way, the training need to be from the management side, and how it is to be implemented at the down level. That that training need analysis survey should be conducted with the other staff members also. Over.
That's really nice, sir. But sir,
I would,
Milind
I
Rane,
would
yeah,
rather-
ma'am, like just to add on that, Milind Rane from Mumbai chapter,
Yes,
the
sir.
priority areas are very critical. It's within a week now we have to do the training need analysis. So what are the priority areas for the organization, for the division? Like Durga ma'am should be made understood. So she's also able to give her experience outputs along with the CEO. So they both have to be in tandem with each other. Secondly, like what are the priority areas for the organization per se for every quarter? The first quarter now getting over, the second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, and like over a period of time, what are the competency gap to understand if the competency need analysis has been done. So as per the competency gaps, the training also should be analyzed. So it has to be a combination of the organization goal, the divisional goals, and the individual goals. So where the CEO can make a very good inputs to Durga in that short time within a week, because the time frame is less and more things are expected from the training and analysis. So it has to be a good combination between the CEO and Durga at this point.
Wow.
Thank you.
actually, Durga should also catch hold of the job description.
Okay, so I have got good points, and we will catch the job description. We will do the core competence of the organization to find out the competitive advantage. So whatever we do, it may be insurance company, it may be a power company, it may be an energy company, it may be an IT company, or it may be a very junior level recruitment we are doing. Yes, competency variable will be varying, but the major factor will remain the same. Now, what should be the factor? The factors are cash the cash. So we always say cash the cash. Cash means K for knowledge, A for attitude, S for skill, and H for habit. Now, why I am bringing this to all? Because many people talk, and there are many research papers for the ask, attitude, skill, and knowledge. But nobody talks about habit. But habit is something which drives the attitude. And attitude is something which gives you, you are open for accepting new skill or knowledge. So all the component or all the factors are interrelated. This cash box is the concept introduced by David Harlinger, who is running now a coaching consultancy named as Cashbox. In the year 2000, he introduced this, and he said that the companies are most focused on knowledge and skill, and they forget the attitude and habit side. Now, if we assume how to measure cash, can anybody tell me how to measure knowledge of an individual? Can we do so? Or how we can do it? Can anybody tell me from the participants? मेजर कैसे करेंगे एटीट्यूड को? मेरी एटीट्यूड कैसे है आप मेजर करके मुझे बताइए. मैं इतने टाइम से बोल रही हूँ, या मेरी हैबिट्स क्या हो सकता है?
Not
respond
attitude. Okay, fine. So go ahead, sir. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, so if a person respond to in a certain situation, how he respond can be calculated as basis on the case studies.
Ma'am, attitude need to be measured through psychometrics only.
Okay. साइकोमेट्रिक सर बहुत बड़ा नाम बोल दिया, मैं तो डर जाती हूँ ऐसे बड़े बड़े नाम से. Anything more easier than that साइकोमेट्रिक के अलावा?
I'm to be very honest
take
with
a feedback.
You. Go ahead, ma'am.
Yeah,
Okay.
I take
Question
feedback,
is?
take a feedback from the office in charge of the person, and also the colleagues. Like have a
Yeah.
fixed form wherein people can give feedback on everyone, and that will give us an idea of the attitude of the person.
Right. So feedback questionnaires are a very good idea, but we need to have a scale to measure in that questionnaire or that feedback schedule we have, or an interview schedule also we can develop, but there should be a scale. So what kind of scale? Because whenever we need to measure something, we have a tape or a scale. So what kind of scale that we can use for this? Some sir said psychometric. What kind of thing that we can use?
Say something like how helpful. Like if you have a problem in office, will you go to Mr. XYZ for help? Very yes, like absolutely, may not, will not. So something like that on different attitudes, and you have like very strongly yes, no, just 3 simple, and that will give us an idea.
Oh, that's a wonderful idea you have given me, ma'am. From your point, I'm picking up, like there is different kind of scale available according to statistics, but there is one scale called interval scale, and this interval scale, there are subdivisions. The one you said, madam, is known as, very popularly known as, Likert scale or Likert scale, whatever we pronounce it. Rennes Likert who introduced this, and it is standardized at 0.5 by 0.7, 0.8. Now, what do I mean by 0.5? If you look at my screen, you will find strongly disagree is equal to 1. Disagree is equal to 2. Neutral is 3. Agree is 4. And strongly agree is 5. So that is 0.5 scale. So this kind of Likert scale are being used by the different researcher, that may be sociological, psychological, to use. So I will not get into very details, but these are the easiest way. If somebody asks me how much I love Pratima Kaushal madam, so I cannot say this much. So, but I will say that if my love is distributed out of 1 to 5 scale, I love her 5 out of 5, means full of my heart. So that gives an expression that how much I can love. So this is how one kind of scale that we generally use. How many of us are using car and going for servicing, and the car service call back and ask you that out of 1 out of 10, मैडम कैसा सर्विस लगा या सर सर्विस कैसे लगा, आउट ऑफ 10 आप मुझे रेटिंग दीजिए? ऐसा किसी ने एक्सपीरियंस किया कभी?
इतने चीजें ये बता रहे लिकर्ट, मैं पहली बार सुना इसका।
हाँ, ये तो लिकर्ट स्केल हो गया सर। आप लोगों ने कार सर्विसिंग करने की दौरान,
of course yes, many times
लिकर्ट स्केल।
तो जो आपको कार वाले आप लोगों को बुलाते हैं, वो फोन करके वो कस्टमर को ना क्लस्टर करने की प्लान में होते हैं। जब कस्टमरों को क्लस्टर करना है या फिर किसी भी रेस्पॉन्स को आपको क्लस्टर करना है, उसको सिमेंटिक डिफरेंस स्केल हम बोलते हैं, जो कि आपको स्क्रीन में भी दिख रहे हैं। अब क्यों आपको पूछा जाता है आप 1 में 10, मैं सिंपल मारुति की कंसल्टेंसी करती थी इसीलिए मैं बता रही हूँ, वो 1 से 10 पूछते हैं और सिंपल लॉजिक है मैडम, जो 10 से लेके 8 तक के रेटिंग देते हैं, they are happy customer, they will always come back for the service. Company is not worried about them. The one who is rating in between 1 to 4, they are unhappy customer and they are exhausted. They probably is not going to come back. So there are nothing to be done. लेकिन जो rating देते हैं in between somewhere between 7, 6 or 5, they are between customer who are confused. आएंगे, आ भी सकते हैं, नहीं भी आ सकते हैं। तो आप देखिएगा आपको डैंगलर मिलेगा, फ्री कार बैलेंसिंग, फ्री कार वॉश, फ्री इंटरनल। सो वो सारे वो कंफ्यूज्ड कस्टमरों को अटेंशन ड्रॉ करके लेके आने के लिए। सो 3 क्लस्टर दे मेक। तो जब भी हमारे रेस्पॉन्स को स्केलिंग करने के लिए, क्लस्टरिंग करने के लिए कोई भी चीज की जरूरत हो, तो हम लोग सिमेंटिक डिफरेंस स्केल यूज करते हैं। और आप लोग मॉल में जाएंगे तो मॉल में आप लोगों को स्पेशली पैंटलून हो, स्पेशली वो आपसे ऐसे फेस दिखा के पूछेंगे आपका शॉपिंग एक्सपीरियंस कैसे था मैम, तो आप ऐसे टिक लगाते हो। सो आपको लगा कि मैंने तो हैप्पी फेस में दिया, बट एक्चुअली वहां पे स्केल स्कोरिंग जो डिसीजन मेकर है उसके पास 3 स्कोर गया, क्योंकि वो इस सारे डेटा को एनालाइज करेंगे कि आपके ऑलरेडी अगर आपने कार्ड बनाया आपके तो डिटेल्स है, now they are getting more data and they will decide what kind of offer they can send you and what kind of things they can do. So ye same cheese can be applied for training need analysis. So these scale. Now my next question is 3 scale में से जब हम TNA करते हैं we have discussed semantic difference, Likert scale and graphic scale. कौन सा स्केल बेस्ट होगा TNA एनालिसिस के लिए या कॉम्पिटेंसी मैपिंग के लिए? एनी आइडिया? No. So no problem.
Ma'am, it's always Likert scale which is the best, because sometimes the adjectives that are given in semantic differential scale, they are confusing and the person is not able to understand. So, and the best advantage of Likert scale is that only one thing can be asked in one item, which creates a less confusion. Plus, I want to add on that there are a lot of standardized psychometric scales which are already being used for TNA. The most popular of that is position analysis questionnaire, PAQ. So these are even the standardized scales if someone does not want to create a Likert scale of its own. So by default, it's always Likert, which is being used for TNA for data-driven analysis.
See, I don't have to teach my class, but in position analysis questionnaire, the Likert scale has been used. Inside that also, that helps in measurement. Most of the even job analysis, if you pick up repertory grid, I don't know how many of you had heard of job analysis tool, repertory grid. If you pick it up, there also they use 0.7 Likert scale. So Likert scale, because we don't have to cluster the response, that is a reason Likert scale is the best choice, I will say, for this kind of analysis. I won't say semantic difference scale cannot be used or graphic scale cannot be used. Yes, they can be used for TNA, but Likert scale is the best way. These all three are the interval scale. Now अभी तो scale दुर्गा मैडम she understood के scale क्या है. अब scale जब पता चल गया और हमें जब questionnaire बनाना है उस scale से measurement, तो वो बनाना कैसे है? ये कुछ इस तरीके से बनाया जाता है so that you can collect data. So you can distribute this kind of, I have just given a sample of questionnaire. On agility, they are collecting data, but you can collect data on multiple skill, knowledge, and this kind of data collection through questionnaire is known as perception data collection. Perception क्यों? क्योंकि when I'm asking you to fill up a questionnaire about a person or you are giving a feedback, you are giving your perception. आप अपने opinion, आप अपने judgment, आप अपने understanding उसको दे रहे हैं. जैसे कि मैं आपको बोलूं कि रेशमी का knowledge कितना अच्छा है, तो आप मेरा knowledge measure नहीं कर सकते. जो सेशन में रह रही हूँ, उस सेशन से जो आपकी लर्निंग हो रहा है, उस लर्निंग से you are generating a label of perception about my teaching capability, and on that perception you will giving me a rating. So whenever we design a questionnaire, that is the perception measurement most of the cases, and this is always close-ended where we are using Likert scale and we are just ticking the statement के अगेंस्ट में जो है हम टिक करते हैं. लेकिन how we do the data entry in the Excel file, for example, for question 1, I'm aware of my team vision. If somebody ticks on disagree, then in the Excel file for that sample, I will enter 4. If somebody ticks on agree in the Excel file, I will enter 2. So these are the coding, and this coding is known as thematic coding, because हमने हर एक नंबर के साथ agree, disagree एक theme को attach कर दिया है ताकि जो quantitative में हम उसे measure कर सके. So this thematic coding has been done and we do the data entry. Why I said thematic coding? Even male and female को भी हम लोग data entry करते हैं. Male is equal to 1, female is equal to 2. अगर हम organization के hierarchy को divide कर रहे हैं, top management, bottom management, middle management, तो top is equal to 1, middle is equal to 2 and bottom is equal to 3. तो हर theme के लिए हम numeric assign कर रहे हैं ताकि हम लोग को string नहीं analysis करना पड़े, number जो कंप्यूटर करे और हमें रिजल्ट दे. नाउ सब तो समझ में आ गया, क्वेश्चनियर बन गया, स्केल बन गया. दुर्गा डेटा कहाँ से कलेक्ट करेगी? किससे कलेक्ट करेगी टीएनए करने के लिए? Any idea?
From top management to all the levels of employees.
Wow, that's excellent. That is what is all about. And it's not about within the organization. We also talk about feedback, multi-source feedback. When we talk about multi-source feedback, it includes the supplier, the vendors, even the outsource जो आप लोगों के peers होते हैं, outsource vendor होते हैं, उनसे भी आप ले सकते हो. And you can also collect data from the customer. Customer feedback can also be there. But in some process, there are no customer, so internal data can be यूटिलाइज. सो हम इन सब लोगों से क्वेश्चनियर बढ़ा सकते हैं, इंटरव्यू शेड्यूल बढ़ा सकते हैं, जैसे कि मैंने आपको स्केल लगा के दिखाया, वो करके हम डेटा कलेक्ट कर सकते हैं. और डेटा कलेक्ट करने के बाद एक ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग सेशन की जरूरत है, जिसमें हम लोगों को स्टैंडर्ड डिफाइन करनी होती है. नाउ द स्टैंडर्ड डिफाइन, इट इज also can be done mathematically. I'm not getting into deep into it, but इसमें बेसिकली जैसे कि हम लोग स्कूल में, when we are into school, we say out of 100 what is your pass mark? There's a 50 is the pass mark. So anybody who scored more than 50 need not to go for a training, but anybody who scored below 50, they are into rudder of training need. But we also have to check what is the exact competency level of that individual for that competency. अगर उसको उस competency कोई एक competency में 5 out of 5 मिला है, तो हम उन्हें छोड़ देंगे ट्रेनिंग में, किसी और को ढूंढेंगे. लेकिन ये ढूंढने की जो प्रक्रिया है, the process of किसको भेजना है, किसको नहीं भेजना है, it's so confusing कि what will I say? So we developed, different kind of Excel sheet and macros on which, and even the dashboard on which we can make easy decision making. So Miss Rekha, who is assistant of Durga, उनका हम लोगों ने feedback score लिया है. तो एक्सेल में जब हम लोगों का फीडबैक स्कोर एंट्री किया है, तो इट लुक लाइक दिस. सो यू कैन सी दुर्गा बासु 7th कॉलम, सॉरी 7th रो, HR कम्युनिकेशन हेड CPO, उन्होंने फीडबैक दिया है 4-5 रेखा के लिए. तो ऐसे सब लोगों का फीडबैक हम लोग कलेक्ट कर सकते हैं. ये जूनियर भी है, इसमें आप अगर डेजिग्नेशन में देखिए, एग्जीक्यूटिव्स ने भी फीडबैक दिया है, पीयर ने भी फीडबैक दिया है, एंड इनके सीनियर बॉसेस ने भी फीडबैक दिया है. और आप अगर नॉलेज में देखेंगे, सिर्फ रेखा का खुद का दिया हुआ रेटिंग है. ये जो है KF1, KF2, KF3, ये नॉलेज फैक्टर 1, नॉलेज फैक्टर 2. मैंने KF इसलिए लिखा क्योंकि अगर HR की एम्प्लॉय है, तो HR की नॉलेज, मान लीजिए टैलेंट मैनेजमेंट की नॉलेज टेस्ट होगा, फिर इंडस्ट्रियल रिलेशन की नॉलेज टेस्ट होगा. अकाउंटिंग की है तो अकाउंटिंग की डिफरेंट नॉलेज टेस्ट होता है, डिफरेंट पेपर होता है, जो वो रिटन में एग्जाम देते हैं, उनको कुछ मार्क्स मिलते हैं, और जो मार्क्स मिलते हैं हम लोगों ने स्केलिंग किया है आउट ऑफ 5, क्योंकि हम लोग 0.5 लाइकेट स्केल यूज कर रहे हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर उसे 100 में 50 मिला है, तो 5 में कितना होना चाहिए, जितना होगा वही अमाउंट हम यहाँ पे वही एग्जैक्ट नंबर लिखेंगे. This is how we do the scaling and neutralization of the data. इसके बाद, when we do this, every individual data entry complete हो जाता है. There can be, huge volume. जैसे NTPC Limited में 20,000 employees है, and we have 20,000 records for every individual. And then we convert it into the next step, जहाँ पे हम लोग डेटा माइनिंग करते हैं. उनके सबके जो स्कोरिंग है, हम फिर दोबारा स्केलिंग करते हैं, करके आउट ऑफ 5 में ऐसे करके लेके आते हैं. तो यहाँ पे अभी सबकी फीडबैक की स्कोरिंग ऑन डिफरेंट कॉम्पिटेंसीज में हम लेके आए हैं. नाउ कॉम्पिटेंसीज कैसे लेके आए? इफ यू लुक एट दोस रेड हेडिंग, तो नॉलेज परसेप्शन है, एटीट्यूड है, स्किल है, एंड हैबिट है. हम इन सब चीजों में डिवाइड किए हैं डिफरेंट कॉम्पिटेंसीज को. Since this is not a class of competency mapping, कैसे डिवाइड किया है, कैसे रेलिवेंसी डिसाइड किया है, that's a different thing we did. but हम लोग डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करके इसको हम लोग ऐसे रेटिंग में ले आते हैं. This is how the Excel file look like. Now इस Excel फाइल के ऊपर हमें डिसीजन मेकिंग करना है, क्योंकि एक हफ्ता है, टाइम ज्यादा नहीं है, तो हम लोग को जल्दी जल्दी बॉस को बताना है, लाइक कि किसको भेजना है जो ये एम्प्लॉयज नेम है इनमें से। तो कोई मेरे को पार्टिसिपेंट से बता सकता है ये एक्सेल फाइल देख के हम कैसे जल्दी जल्दी बॉस को बता दे कि इनको भेजना है, इनको भेजना है, इनको भेजना है? एनी आइडिया?
We can filter, use a filter function for a certain numerical value, and anybody who's at that numerical value or below that numerical value can be chosen for the training.
Add the numerical value for a particular benchmark and can be chosen. Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am, for giving me this suggestion. So this is what we did. हम लोग नॉलेज की स्कोर स्किल के साथ नहीं जोड़ सकते और स्किल का स्कोर एटीट्यूड के साथ जोड़ नहीं सकते बिकॉज दिस आर डिफरेंट कंपोनेंट. सो हम अलग अलग करके टोटल किए हैं एंड व्हेन वी गेट अ टोटल this is known as sometimes TNA matrix, and this matrix has two axes, x-axis and y-axis. I am talking about y-axis now, where you will get the individual score for every kind of factors competency that you have. So if you look at this, you will see 25 is the highest and 22 is the lowest. मैंने वो Excel file जो है, जो अंकित अभी आपको दिखाएंगे next 5 minutes में, उसमें 157 employees data है. मैं जिसमें से सिर्फ फर्स्ट 12 को डाइसेक्ट करके आपको दिखा रही हूँ. सो 22 इज नॉट द लोएस्ट स्कोर, बट मैंने अजम्पशन लिया है अगर ये 12 में से मैं कंपेयर करूँ तो यहाँ पे 22 जो है जो दिख रहे हैं उनको हम लोग ट्रेनिंग के लिए सोच सकते हैं. लेकिन क्वेश्चन रह जाता है विच कॉम्पिटेंसी और नॉलेज में कौन सा नॉलेज हम इनको बूस्ट करेंगे, कौन सा क्लास में भेजेंगे, 1 के लिए भेजेंगे, 4 के लिए भेजेंगे, या स्किल कौन सा स्किल एनहांस करना है. नाउ टू क्वेश्चन दैट वी हैव टू कम टू आवर एक्स एक्सिस. अगर एक्स एक्सिस में हम टोटल करेंगे तो हमें अभी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की नंबर ऑफ कॉम्पिटेंसी स्कोर आ रहे हैं. सो वाई एक्सिस में आपकी इंडिविजुअल स्कोर आ रहे हैं, एक्स एक्सिस में ऑर्गेनाइजेशन स्कोर. ये जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का स्कोर मैं बोल रही हूँ, इससे दैट यू विल बी एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड what is the core competence of the organization. For example, if I look at the skill, analytical ability has 60 score, team player has 60 score. So these are the, you know, if this is actually the 12 employees are there, then they are the super team players, because 60 out of 60, and that is the core competency of the company. We can predict in that way also. But if you look at the business acumen is 33. So now we can decide which one business acumen is the one for which we need to send our employees. Who are to be sent? Now these are the people who have scored 222, which is much below than 50%. We are supposed to send this employee. So it seems to be very easy when we are doing it for 12 employees. Similarly, we can do it for attitude and habit also. But it becomes more complicated when the number of employee increases. When it becomes 20,000 employee like NTPC, it becomes real complicated. So now this is how the same thing I have used. Now Durga understood how to make data-driven decision making, but this is only 12 employees. What about 157 employees we need to do? So here comes the role of the dashboard. So I will now request Ankit, I hope you are here. So I will request Ankit if you can take over and you can explain the steps, how we can do the, you know, the training need analysis for the TNA. But just to hold on, Ankit, before I get into that, the dashboard is designed on the base of this 9-box model. Who designed this 9-box model? McKinsey has designed this 9-box model for their, you know, to map employee. Now, what this 9-box says, like this is again the matrix. When the y-axis goes high, we will say employee commitment is going high. And when the x-axis is going on the other side, then the competency, label of competency is going high. When you see this orange box that I have tried to draw, this orange box indicates that these are the, you know, the cream of the cream employees of the organization, and they will be the part of HIPPO strategy. That is the high potential strategy. HIPPO strategy is how to motivate high potential employee, those comes under HIPPO strategy. But out of the HIPPO strategy, there are 1, 2, 3, 4. Enigma, dilemma, underperformer, effective and trusted professionals. Who will be, we need to send for training and pull them up. How to do this in the dashboard, how to get high potential data in the dashboard, that will be taken by Ankit. So Ankit, are you there?
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, my pleasure.
Ma'am, this skill which you are talking, this tool or questionnaire which is being discussed about this capturing the knowledge level, skill and attitude.
Sir, I'm not able to understand you. There is some noise coming.
Excuse me, can everybody mute themselves, please?
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. This you were talking about this questionnaire or I can say tool for measuring the knowledge, skill and attitude of an individual person or employee. So this tool or questionnaire has been developed by you yourself or this NTPC, or you have purchased this tool from somewhere else?
Excellent question, sir. Thank you for asking me this question. Sir, you can adopt it always, but I will never suggest you adopt, because whoever is making this scale should be made based on what is required for the organization. So you have to develop your own scale always. The scale that I am showing you, it is a scale developed by us for NTPC employees. And this scale, because NTPC employee these are the employees who are into power generation. There will be employees who are into IT. So IT competency cannot match with banking. Banking cannot match with power generation. So
But
every
ma'am,
time this has to be created. And you have, yes.
But ma'am, before launching this questionnaire or your tool for measuring these elements, so you tested it whether this tool is stable or not, or this is giving the right answer which is required by this questionnaire.
Thank you, sir. Very nice question. Yes, sir. We have to test this on a pilot study. Now, the pilot study, you have to do a random sampling. Random sampling means blindly you have to pick up, and you have to do the pilot study. And pilot study doesn't end, sir. One more thing I need to add you. If you are making questionnaire or interview schedule, you have to validate and you have to give a reliability score to the employer. Like, what is validity? You have to say that I am measuring competency, so the knowledge factor that I have taken is valid for this job description. It's related, associated with this job description. You have to prove that. Now, the internal consistency between the factors or the variables you have taken for the, the skill, the attitude and habit, they are intercorrelated. You have to prove it. Then only the rest of the things are accepted. There are
Actually,
different tests.
I'm saying because the people take it very lightly that you are going to measure this thing. Okay, so let's see. Okay, I'm going to prepare a questionnaire. So, but preparing a questionnaire and whether it is really measuring those things for which it has been designed, so it is not a simple thing actually.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There are number of scientists which they have taken almost 5 to 10 years to develop a tool. So just making a questionnaire and you are thinking that it's a tool. So very rightly you said that you need to check the validity and stability of the tool. Then only it can be used.
Because my boss asked me that you are measuring the competency of the employees of this kya naam hai, Vindhyachal and Singrauli. What is the the validity that this culture is different, the variable is different, the people are different at Visakhapatnam and South India. What is the validity and what is the correlation that this questionnaire that you have developed to collect the competency data will give the same output? So you have to put that. For that, it's a very small session, but ISTD, I have seen many advertisements. They are conducting HR analytics and people analytic courses. So you can attend those ISTD courses, and then you will get definitely benefit for this. Right? I'm able to answer you, sir. So Ankita,
Even I would like to ask two questions here.
yes, ma'am.
You have identified KF1, KF2, KF3, and some behavioral competencies like business acumen and agility. My first question is, how do you come to a list of these competencies? Because these competencies will also differ from industry to industry, sector to sector, corporate to corporate. And my second question is, how much time did you take to validate this tool on a random sample with a pilot study?
Thank you for asking me this question. For your first answer, that from where did I get this factor? You have to, what we did, we collected 26 power generation companies job description for different profiles. That is known as, the competency job family. So for example, project management. Project management, there are different designation managers, but whatever the designation is, they're going to do a project management. Now, what are the job descriptions in the project management from 26 companies we have collected? And those 26 companies are from US, from Canada, and from India. Now, those job descriptions are being analyzed, qualitative analysis has been done through the software called NVivo. Now, what does NVivo do qualitative? They do a dendrogram analysis, which is based on similarity index. What is similarity index? अब प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजमेंट में कहीं पे ऑपरेशन लिखा हुआ है, मैंने वो सारा डाला नहीं है इसमें, तो वो कितनी बार हर डिस्क्रिप्शन में ऑपरेशन या कितनी बार हर जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन में एनालिटिक्स, एनालिटिकल स्किल रिपीट हो रहे हैं, उसकी आपकी फ्रीक्वेंसी देंगे एंड उसको क्लस्टर करके भी देंगे कि वो बिहेवियरल के अंदर आ रहे हैं या फिर वो टेक्निकल के अंदर आ रहे हैं. आपको दो क्लस्टर बना के देंगे. क्लस्टर इज ऑन यू, हाउ मेनी क्लस्टर यू कैन मेक. बट आप जब क्लस्टर बना देते हो, ऑटोमेटिकली वो आउटपुट करके क्लस्टर में डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करके देंगे. सो द फर्स्ट थिंग दैट द क्वालिटेटिव एनालिसिस ऑफ द जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन इज इंपॉर्टेंट, फ्रॉम वेयर यू डिराइव दिस फैक्टर फॉर अ पर्टिकुलर जॉब. Now I'm able to answer you the first question.
And isn't taking the job description from the companies where you are doing this analysis would not be sufficient? Suppose we have already job descriptions for various roles of that organization, because taking JDs from US or from Canada again would have a cultural difference from Indian context. So
That
if
depends
somebody
on your-
has to do a quick in 1 week's time, does taking companies' job descriptions would be sufficient, or one has to take into consideration various locations and various other kinds of JDs as well?
Excellent question. If it is a 1 week time and you have to look at the objective of your organization is asking you like just to do a TNA, then your own job description is good enough. But if organization, why I said that I have collected data, because NTPC will always say we are at global level. Global excellence has to be there. We are competing globally. We are operating at Bangladesh, Nepal. We have to have the global competency. So when they talk about like this global excellence and all, you have to go global. So that time you have to take time, and that way you have to make a Gantt chart and you have to say, I need this amount of time. Now your next question is how much time you need to take. So the total time that I have taken is 1 year, 2 months. So that makes 14 months to complete the total process of mapping, because whenever you write a mail to the other company, they will not respond you on time. You have to follow them couple of times, and then you will be getting those job description, do analysis, and then following up the employees for collecting data. आप questionnaire भेजने के बाद please भर दीजिए. So it takes time, quite a good amount of time.
No, ma'am, my question was how much time did it take to validate the tool? जो आपने कहा कि पायलट स्टडी करने के बाद आपने रिलायबिलिटी और वैलिडिटी कैलकुलेट किया, वो छोटे सैंपल पे वैलिडेट करने पे कितना टाइम लगता है यूजुअली?
अगर आप सॉफ्टवेयर यूज कर रहे हो लाइक SPSS, R और Python, आपको घर बैठे आधा घंटा लगेगा.
Okay, understood.
ठीक है? Okay. So Ankit, are you there? If you can start with.
Just sharing my screen. I'll request you to share this.
हाँ, ठीक है. I am stop sharing.
screen is visible to all?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is
Yes.
visible.
Yes, yes, it is.
So this is the data, which will look like this after collecting. So it will be having the employee name, their departments, their work experience, their age, their gender, headquarter, means their location and the project as well. So then coming to the KSA, which we distinguish the questionnaires question into the segregation. So here it comes the knowledge part. So KF1, 2 to KF5, these are the 5 elements of the knowledge part. So we, as discussed by Reshmi, we did the sum of all these 5 components. So this comes as in 25. Similarly for the all of the cases. Similarly, we did for the analytical ability, which comes under the skill part. So here it comes the skill score, this one, and similarly goes to the attitude and the habit. So after summing all of them, what is the next step? Means we have scored and we have counted the sum of them. Then what should be done? Means how to process the data. Then we divide them into the 2 parts, which is knowledge and skill, which are the hardcore competencies, and another is attitude and habit, which is behavioral competencies. So prior to that, what we do, we rank all the employees on based on their score of attitude, knowledge, means on cash score. So the reason for ranking them is because there may be more than one employee, maybe n number of 10 employees which will be having have same score. Here we can also see here there are 9 employees who are having the same score. So they have a rank of here. So we define them rank. With the rank, we extend the horizon of the distinguishedness so that we can differentiate them in a better way. So to define their training need analysis, we need to sum the ranks of the knowledge and skills and attitude and habit, because of having the separate competency family as in hardcore and the behavioral competencies. Then once they are done, then what we did, we just summed the score of their the rank score, so that we can rank them in a better way, and we can find out which one is can be get into the high potential employee, and which one can come into the which category out of the 9 categories. After this, what we did, this we can see this the number is very high, beyond the 100, and what we see in the terms, it is not easy to interfere and understand in terms of conclusion. So what we did, we converted into the percentiles, depend on the score of each employee. So we convert the numbers into the range from 1 to 100. So after that, we distinguish them into the categories, into the 9 categories, which were shared with the Reshmi just in the last slide, where they were showing that this employee needs training, this employee is not performing, this is a team leader future, this is a star performer. So this way we divide for both of the behavioral competencies and hardcore competencies. So after dividing this, there comes their ranking via this, because here the score is like this. If the score is of 9, then he is an underperforming employee, and if there is an 8, then he is under dilemma phase. If he is scoring 1 as in the rank, then he is the top performer and can be selected for the future leader. So this is the background, some background work with the data. What we did means some calculations so that we can make it into the understandable format. So once this is done, all this small calculation, some conversion into the 9 categories is done, then it's time to summarize it so that we can view and we can plan for a better picture here. So what we do, we just select all the data here and just convert it into the pivot table. So how a pivot table is going to look after converting it, it will be looking like something like this when a dashboard will be coming up. So this pivot range will be defining the employees category under the attitude and habit category, and this will be defining the employees into the knowledge and skills. So based on the 2 competencies families, we have distinguished the employee. So this is the perspective. This is the category of all the employees in the organization. So we are having an organizational perspective here, but there are cases where we will be requiring the comparing of the gender, means how much male and how much female are contributing according to their gender. We also need many times that which department is performing how much, which location it is. So for those explanations, these are the slicers plays a role. So these are the slicers. Here we can see the database based on the classification of their age. If I want to see how does an employees of age 28 doing, so just click on this. So they will just depict the graph of 28 years employee and their category with the attitude and habits. So here it will show that in the dilemma there is Rakesh Kumar is an employee who falls into the category of dilemma according to the attitude and habits of his measurement. Similarly, in the dilemma of knowledge and skill, there is Lakshmi Kasu Mola, who is falling into the dilemma category, and the future leader. These are the future leader, means they are the one who are having a sounded knowledge and the skills into their present job, and they can be counted as the future leader into these things. So after comparing this and this, with the both of the things, we just go for the future leader, and then we can see which one is coming into the high performance employee and which will be requiring the training. So if I remove all the filters, you can see there are all the criteria. One is a dilemma, effective, emerging star, enigma, the future leader. This is the performance of the employee who are performing well beyond the level which is required, and these are underperformer who are not at all performing at all. So this is for me where you can segregate, you can concise, you can filter out the data based on unit wise, whole organizational, gender wise, and departmental wise. So I'll stop here, and this is over to Reshmi now.
Okay, Ankit, this is Itilekha. Thank you so much for your presentation. Just I would like to know, am I audible? Ankit, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible to me. I can hear
you. You mentioned about AHP. On what basis? Is it the analytical hierarchical process you are talking about? In your original data set, you just go to the original data set. There I found something called ranking, and AHP is there. So how you have done so many employees, 20,000 plus employees using AHP, or is it the simple ranking you have done?
When the ranks come, I use the specific formula, which is the rank.eq. What it does, if there is if there are 5 employees who are having the top scores, for example, out of 100, all 5 are having 500. Then that next category comes into the 99. So in the rank, what we do, all the 100s are at the rank 1, and then the next are at rank 2. So what it does here, it gives all of them the one who are at 100, they will be ranked as 1. But when it comes to the 99th, the one who scored the 99th, he will be ranked as in 5 because there are already 4 persons ahead of him. So with this, we were able to normalize this.
So it is not the HP. You have not used analytical hierarchical process. You have written somewhere AHP ranking, and then next is AHP. So that is why I got confused.
Give me a second.
ISTD ka.
Yeah. Just go back little back.
Yes, this is what you were talking about. AHP.
Yeah. From where you got this ranking?
This is the percentile of every employee. The way you have seen the CAT, CMAT, how they score us.
Yeah.
So we created the percentile.
So it is the percentile. It is not AHP.
No, it is not the AHP.
Okay, fine.
It is mentioned attitude and habits percentile. So the full form.
Okay.
Sorry for the quotations.
Okay, okay, but because for prescriptive analytics we use AHP, so that's why I got confused that
I
yes,
understand. I understand.
how it was 20,000 employees you have used AHP. Anyway, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Can I request guests to please mute themselves who are not speaking? Yes, Dr. Benwitt, please.
Yes, yeah, I think very nice application has come in. Actually, AHP analytic hierarchy process has also been used for a limited number of employees, and the cost is different and is being projected as a reply to the question that was put. One thing I would like to say is that mostly if we look at the attitude, we look at aptitude tests rather than attitude. So bringing attitude into your analysis, that's a good thing. But then again, might be questioned. But otherwise, good presentation. I thought I'll just, because AHP is one of my favorite subjects of research and application also. Thank you.
Yes, sir. We understand. We follow your research paper.
Yes. Yeah,
thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. So
All right.
I made it a point to attend today. Thank you. Please carry on.
Okay, thank you, Ankit. But it's really, I'm so happy to see all of you, and it's such an interactive. And thank you, sir, for your inputs. Sir, it's really so good to see you all. So I'm going to share my PowerPoint. Yes. So we were here, and just for the note, I have note down the steps that Ankit has used. So whenever I'm sharing the presentation, anybody can go through the the steps what he has followed to get those things. So this is just the screenshot of the future leader. So that's how you get the name of all the the high potential employee who are actually performing. And this screenshot is for only for knowledge and skill, not for attitude. There will be other different screenshot also. So this is screenshot of underperformer employees. Now when underperformer employees you are having, you have to make two decisions. You want to train them or you want to ask them to leave. So that's absolutely on organization protocol and organization call. But what I want to say here, like if you look at the same picture I have shared again, I have indicated here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, how Ankit has used the ranking method to put the employees into different cluster of 9 box, and on which you can identify employees easily, because that's a real difficult job to identify under which category the employees are coming. And this is the process, that dashboard, where you can have 20,000 employees, where you can have 10 employees. You can use this dashboard to showcase your boss that yes, these are the number of employees coming under this particular category. But now what prescription that we are supposed to give? We have got the result. Now Durga has to give certain prescription. So before we get into prescription, there is Hardlinker who says that most of the company, they spend their money for training, knowledge and skill, but the people, they forget that our business outcome is mostly depending on the attitude and habit of the employees. So this is the prescription. If there is a deficiency in knowledge and skill, training is the result. If there is a problem in attitude or habit, then coaching and mentoring is the solution. I would like to mention here, coaching and mentoring are two different things, are not the same thing. Coaching here means you will find out the problem of the employee, and then you will question the employee or the organization to find their own solution. You are not going to share your experience or anything, something or your knowledge. Nothing you are going to do. You are going to act as a facilitator just to coach that person. And mentoring means where actually you use your experience, past experience, your knowledge, your sharing, case studies you do to mentor the employees. So these are the two different things that you have to understand which one to be used and when. So this is the last slide, and here when we have cluster of employees with us, high potential employee and low potential, we now already cluster employees, we know who are to be sent for training. What is the amount of the cost, money, time we should spend for those employee is a real question again. Is we need a prescription again for that, what we should do. So this is again a matrix. You have to find out the role. Now the role means the strategic role means here again they are talking about hierarchy. Low here means the bottom management and high means the top management. And on the x-axis performance means we didn't do any predictive analytics, so I didn't use the data of the performance outcome. But even though we don't use that data, we already know who are the employees who need training. Now based on that, based on this matrix, if you can look at more potential, but if they are more potential but has a tendency to leave, then you have to think on that how much time you should be spending, because if you train them also, then also they have the tendency to leave. So in that case, to engage those employees who have the always tendency to leave and to switch job, you have to give them challenging tasks. Means don't give them time to think. Empty brain is devil workshop. So don't give them time to think. Always keep them engaged with challenging roles, job rotations, job sharing, and they will engage and they will not switch. So at the same time, you have to also see that how this job rotation will help employees in developing new skills. How long you will put them for job rotation? Will you put them for job rotation for the higher hierarchy or in the same label? So this design has to be done, and this has to be done with the organization management. Only one person should not be designing this, because there are many variables has to be considered, and then brainstorming session is required, and then this has to be done. So this is the prescriptive matrix for how much time, cost that you can use for. So to the participant, what do you think, that are we able to help Durga, or we were not able to help Durga? I know Ankit was a little bit fast. That is the reason I've given to Ankit, because if I take that area, I will take 2 more sessions. I'm very slow in process of delivering. So, but still, are we able to help Durga? If so, if you can, write down why. Let me see how many why I get. So they
Well, they are wise, huh?
Majority have given why.
Yes.
Pauni Puri saying some bit.
So I'm now open for any kind of question related to data-driven decision making that we do for training need.
Just a query regarding this dilemma or underperformance. How is the work plan done at NTPC, or like what is the next plan of action for them, that they come up at par, or like how is it?
Before there was they used to give training, and they used to have a development center to check that they're developing or not. Very recently they have changed their policy, and they says that we are giving you whoever is coming at underperformance for last 5 years. So they were given a deadline of another 5 years if they are having that service duration. Like, you have to change your performance. If you are still coming under underperformance, then they are retrenching those employees.
Right. Good. Thank you so
Uh,
much, Dr. Rashmi ji and Ankit. Thank you.
Yeah. Good evening, ma'am. It was quite an interesting session. I'm Jayaraman from Chennai. I just wanted to know how this data can be used for PIP, Performance Improvement Plan, and Individual Development Plan, the IDP. That's number one. Number two, there is also another tool called weight analysis, vital, essential, and desirable. The skill sets are mapped based on the capability matrix or competency matrix drawn for the role based. So based on that, these are all the vital for me to perform my current role. But these are the skill set I needed essential when I grow up, because if I use the 9-box matrix, that also says that when you say future leader, there are certain essential skill set which I need to develop parallelly. The third aspect is on the desirability. How do I plan it? It is like your time matrix, urgent versus important. So can you just throw light how NTPC is using any of this which I asked?
Third aspect?
Yeah,
How
how is that?
I didn't get you. You got
The desirability part. That's what you are asking?
the third part I'm asking. I somehow got disconnected.
Yeah, how you are using this kind of tools in NTPC for making this IDP or PIP and then weight analysis.
Okay. So for IDP, what we are doing, for IDP, we are not doing any kind of data analysis.
Okay.
We are asking in NTPC the employees, like, where do you think that you want to develop yourself? What are the area and scope? And then we are taking those requests and we are mapping those with the objective. Like, for example, all of a sudden we receive that an employee want to do international coaching certification from ICF, International Coaching Federation. Now, why this person want to do coaching, and how the a general manager will do a coaching certification will help the organization. So we have to find it out, map it with the organization objective, and then NTPC is funding those curriculum for their individual development plan. So that's a simple thing they're doing. There is no data analysis. But if you talk about performance analysis, so we have a different kind of, the set of competency clustering. Like for performance, we have certain generic competency. What is generic competency? For example, communication skill, which is important for the bottom management team as well as top management teams. There's a generic, which is, and also the threshold competency, which is the minimum requirement to get employed in NTPC. So it is required throughout the organization, even you become CMD.
Yeah.
But there are certain specific or technical competencies which are required for the different people, even though in the project management. For example, for the thermal power plant, there are technical which are required for the boilers, where actually the conversion is happening. Then there are other technicians which are required for ash collection. So on the basis of their job description, we find out what is the technical, which is known as critical incidents technique. Now, what is critical incident technique? If this man is not performing this job, what will be the criticality to the organization? Or if this man is performing this job, what is the gain that the organization is getting? So for every job, we do the CIT, and on the basis of CIT, we find out what is the performance output of that technicians or that engineer, and on the basis of that, we do certain kind of rating. Now, there is also an interview process before promotion, where we discuss with them the feedback. Because I have given a feedback out of 5, I've given you 4 because I think you 4. But you yourself can think that I am eligible of 5 out of 5. So your self feedback is also very important. What do you think? Where you stand yourself? So before every promotion, 20,000 employees who are eligible for the promotions, there are some employees who are not eligible. They are not called for interview. The who are eligible for interview, they are called for the interview. We discuss with the scoring, and then a final score is given on which the HR department take a call that this person should be promoted or not.
Thank you.
Okay, so Reshmi, there is one more question on the chat box. And so JPY is asking, which software apart from Excel is being used? Any stats tool?
Any kind of statistic package it can be used. That can be SPSS or Minitab. For HR, I will always say Minitab is the best output that gives. SPSS can also be used because there are certain limitation in Minitab. But if someone IT is there and good in coding, means coding means you can use the coding library, then Python and R is the best, because it will give you variety of output without any limitation. Big data, you can do analysis. SPSS in big data, it gets hang. That is the only disadvantage of SPSS. When you exceed a data of 15,000 or 2 GB, it start hanging badly. But in Minitab, it will not happen hanging problem. But in Minitab, there are certain limitations like general linear model, where we have multiple interaction testing we do. For example, for output performance, if knowledge is K, skill is S, and attitude is A. So I just want to see output is influenced by only knowledge, or knowledge into skill, or skill into attitude, or attitude into skill into knowledge. So these are so many interaction I have to test. So whenever we do so many interaction tests, Minitab output doesn't give us good output as SPSS. So what I do whenever I have to do an analysis, I have kept all my software, and I have good research assistant like Ankit and Bharat. There are people who help me, and I do all kind of analysis with the help of them, with all software.
I have got a question or sort of observation. Can I come in, please?
Okay.
My pleasure, sir.
Right. Myself, GS Baba. I work for the Airport Authority as a director in the training academy. I appreciate that there are a lot of tools available. At times, the departments don't appreciate the human interaction involved in that, because in the back end, there is some human body who is testing. Are there tools that are free of human interaction nowadays, because artificial intelligence is dominating? Some simulation packages are there. Your mind on that, please.
Yes, sir. You can always use artificial intelligence, but I will tell you, artificial intelligence, machine learning are trained by human being only. So human biasness also go there. But what I can tell you, for it's a small little example I'm giving you, Harili. For example, I want to test what is the test of a burger. So I will ask Ankit, tum test karo, give a rating. I will give a test and I will give a rating. Pratima ma'am will test and will give a rating. So in this way, we can have a data set, and then intra-rater reliability test can be run. What is inter-rater reliability test? That the rating given by the different rater are associated or correlated to one another or not. On that basis, you can easily find out that whatever rating we are giving is biased or not. And also there are other tests I can help you with. Who is biased? Which data is biased? Other two is biased or not? Other two is giving similar. One is dissimilar. That can be also analyzed, that we do. So there are different statistical tools, because AI is what? AI is, for example, I am doing a regression to predict that this session is fruitful or not. Outcome, ask or something if. So every session, every Saturday we are conducting will give a fruitful. Now I want to say, I don't want to make decision. I will say computer that there are 17 session and 17 session has feedback. You automatically tell me the total, what is the outcome of those 17 session. The computer will run the predictive analytics for those 17 and will give you, but they will be running the predictive analytics only and automatically giving you the result. But those prediction, how to give, a human being is making a training set data in the machine learning, and then AI is giving you the result. So human intervention is always there. It's not possible without that.
No, that I agree. I appreciate your answer. Thank you very much. And one observation, you mentioned that SPSS hangs beyond 15,000. It could be because of some hardware issues at the user's level. I don't think they got a habit of hanging.
Sir, I'm using now Mac, I have used Windows, and I'm using SPSS because you must have seen I was employee of IBM. So when people don't know about SPSS, since then I'm using SPSS. I've learned it from IBM. So I know.
I used the SPS in 1982.
Wow, that's excellent, sir. I have used later than it.
Exactly right.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. I think, this conversation can go on and on. There's so many, questions, queries people have. So I think Dr. Reshmi and Ankit, I think it was an excellent session, really wonderful. So many insights, so much of good information. I think we carried a lot of value this evening. Yeah. So thank you so much. And now I would request Mr. Shastri, our Vice Chairperson, to give a formal vote of thanks. Over to you, Mr. Shastri. Mr. Shastri, are you there?
Yes, I am there.
Sir, please.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Dr. Reshmi and Mr. Ankit Singh, for such a wonderful session and explaining the complex thing in the most simple manner. That is the best quality of any faculty. And the session was attended by a very good number, although at one point of time it was around 90 and now it has come down to 60. But anyway, the audience took keen interest. That was evident from the question answers. And we thank the audience, especially Professor D.K. Benvet, Professor J.P. Bagde from Aurangabad. Dr. Sunil Abrol had also joined for some time, but he left. Then Dr. Narendran, Dr. K.N. Gangai, Dr. Sunita Talwar, Dr. Alok Goyal, Dr. Pulis, Colonel J.S. Lamba, Mr. Jayaraman, Mr. U.C. Joshi, Mr. Palini Appan, Mr. Khoth, Mr. G.S. Bawa, Dr. Iti Lekha, Mr. Milind Rane, Mr. Kaushal, our own colleagues, our chairperson, Mr. Mukesh Jain, Mr. Arpit Suri, Ms. Sucharita, and of course our coordinator Pratima ji is driving this initiative of evening talks. Mr. Ajay Deep, Dr. Ashish Srivastav, they also joined, but they left later on. So thanks to each of the participants who made this session successful and meaningful and vibrant. And I was really impressed by the manner in which Dr. Reshmi conducted the session. She is able to establish a good connect with the audience. Apart from the knowledge of the subject matter, it is more important how it is presented to the audience so that they can understand it in a proper manner. So thank you very much, faculty, once again, and thank you all the participants. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Shastri.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Well done,
Dr.
Mukesh sir.
Shastri.
Well done, Mukesh sir. Shastri ji.
Thank you, Rane sir.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
बहुत बढ़िया
Thank
लगा।
you, Milind bhai.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Colonel
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bawa sahab.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thank you very much. So nice.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Yashwant.
Namaskar. Namaskar. Thank you.
We are
everybody. It
always
was an excellent
encouraged and
session.
delighted with your presence.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks to the
Pradeep
pandemic,
ji,
we are able to
Pradeep
meet
Rao ji is
Very,
here.
very,
Thank you
very,
very
very
much, sir.
interesting discussion.
Thanks to
Bye
the
bye.
pandemic, we are able to meet
Yeah.
regularly.
Thank you, Mukesh sir. It was a great program.
We'll
Thank you,
meet
Rao sir.
again.
Thank you.
Namaskar.
We'll meet
Thank
again.
you. Thank you, Madam Pratima. Thank
Thank
you
you
very
so
much.
much, Mr. Mukesh.
It's a beautiful experience. Beautiful thing.